Whoa, welcome back. How you guys doing? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Minecraft with Crime-O. I can't do this where we look at you. Oh no, I'm going to die because I can't fly this way. Oh boy, here we go, here we go. Let's see if I can do this right. Anyway, how you guys doing? How is everyone doing? Welcome back to Axe Harbor. There's our axe down there. This is really difficult to fly like this. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. I know I already said that. I'm trying to talk and fly like this at the same time, and I find that very difficult to do. So we'll see if I can come down here and land. But anyway, we're going to go through the nether portal in just a minute. And, yeah, this is kind of cool. Kind of cool. Can I land like this somewhere? Probably not. Probably not. There's the axe right there. I'm going to hit a roof or something. Oh, boy. There we go. There we go. I'm doing it. I'm doing it, guys. I'm flying. I'm not looking where I'm going. Oh, boy. I guess we'll land near the cactus farm. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, as you can see right here, I've got a build site prepped for today's build. So this should be pretty fun. I also haven't played Minecraft in about a week, which is, yeah, I think it's going to get... My editing, oh man, it got crazy again, and we had shoots and live stream productions and all sorts of things to do for clients, and I guess I was just hearing something. But anyway, did you guys do anything cool last couple of weeks? I haven't done anything really cool, but getting ready to do something pretty cool. Maybe by the time this video comes out, I'll have already done it. I have to actually shoot a time lapse of the sunrise and the sunset for you in Huntington Beach, California, for a client out there. And it turned out to be a very tricky thing. I haven't done it yet, but I did some research. I did a test. Maybe I'll show that test on screen here. I just went down to my local beach and tried a test, which was good. It's always very good for me to do things hands-on because then I can really see what my issues are that I'm dealing with. And I've discovered that shooting time lapses are actually really fun and not a big deal. But shooting a time lapse where the sun is in the frame and it goes from day to night or night to day, that's an exposure nightmare for cameras. And so it turns out to be this really tricky thing to do. But anyway, enough about that. We're here for Minecraft. Well, I don't know. At this point in the game, at this point in the series, I don't know if Minecraft seems to even be the main gist of the whole thing. Minecraft is just a fun thing to do. Gets my mind, chills my mind out, lets me be a little creative, and we can talk about other things. So I do have a topic of the day today, but for now, right before we leave, we're going to do one thing here before we start the build. We're going to go do a little farm again, another one from Ianxofour, but this one is also relatively simple. We're going to make one thing I forgot to put into the... Oh, I probably have one in my inventory. Anyway, nope. I would like a stick, please. There we go. And then we make one of those. All right, I think we're prepped. So we're going to make this really simple farm. This really is not like an episode building farm or anything. But it is kind of an interesting... It's an interesting farm. That Ianxofour guy is kind of a genius as far as figuring stuff out for these farms in Minecraft. Let's go. We're going to go to... you'll see here in just a second. Anyway, all sorts of different things I could chat about. But I do have a topic of the day today, which will be a story of the day. That's what I was saying. It'll be my first story of the day. Okay, we got to go this way. I could fly. I probably should. I mean, it doesn't really matter. We were just going right over here. I do have a walkway that goes out here and comes right over here to this portal, which is completely undressed, but that's how it is. Anyway, so I do have today will be my first sort of it's a story of the day. True story. And it's just one I want to sort of archive. Oh, I should put on my, let me actually put on my pumpkin head because I'm pretty terrible at this. Just because, I don't want to cry and mow it right off the bat. Okay, take this with us, and we're going to cruise out here, and we're going to build a farm here in the end. So this is This is a wither rose farm. Using the wither, of course. That's how you get the wither roses, right? And we're going to, I believe, execute, we're going to let the wither execute snow golems. So I dug this out too much. Jeez, now I need a bunch of blocks. Okay, so we have a 3x3 area in here, centered on this block right here. And then I punched out another space here, and we're going to put 3 slabs right there. So we have to crouch, and then we can exit this way here. There we go. Let's fill this all in just because. I don't really know why. Always got to cry and mow it, man. All right, in here go the pumpkins. And in here go the shears. I don't need that many shears at all. We'll bounce out of here. We will fill these blocks in. This is exciting Minecraft content. All right, so now we put an observer facing the observer. So we want it to look into there. And we want to have redstone going right back into there, which will power both of these, I think, at the same time. I think a lever just goes there to start it. Oops, we can turn that on like that. Just to what he calls initialize set this up so it's ready to run. And then we're going to build a little walled section for the player. That would be me, or, you. And I think we're going to do this, and we turn that up, and this helps us, be in the right spot to place the snow blocks. And I think we put a couple barrels right here, just for storage of snow and stuff, because this is gonna fill up our inventory, I think a lot. Our soul sand, like this. This is where we're going to build the wither. We're not going to put the last one yet. We're going to make sure everything here is good to go. That's what we're going to do. Let me check the tutorial one more time. So yeah, I made another mistake here. Jeez. I wasn't looking at the levels of... I just built this wall. Oh, I guess I don't need to replace all this stuff. All right, whatever. I want to match because I want to make sure I do this sort of, at least as close to the tutorial as possible, so that in case I make any, mistakes, it's easier to figure out. So we do this, and we put in this trapdoor real quick right here, which I think doesn't matter that there's because it opens this way. And we want to be just basically tucked into this square so we can put our crosshairs right into this corner right here. So we can place a snow block, and then I think when the second block gets placed, our crosshairs will be on it, and we place the second one, and we just hold that down, and it just kind of does its thing. And we go down here. So there goes that. Let's go in here. Maybe I made everything out of wood and it's going to break. I have no idea. All right, here we go. Okay, so this isn't dispensing. There we go. Now it's, yeah, he didn't show that you had to remove that lever, so anyway, so we do this. So it's making snow golems, and then we're saving the carved pumpkins. It's shearing the carved pumpkins off as it drops the snow golems in there. Now, theoretically, down in the pit, the snow golems are being killed and turned into wither roses. So I only had 32 snow golem pumpkin heads, and I dropped one of them down there. So now we're supposed to go down here and run around. Oh. Are there any roses here? I think there are, right? So this is like a crazy industrial farm because the snow blocks, the snowballs can be fabricated back into more snowmen. And then you have all your carved pumpkin heads, right, for making more pumpkin heads. So, oh boy. So I went and mined up all this snow because I thought I would have to do it. And look, we got 30 wither roses. And then you put your carved pumpkins back in there, and then you just do it again. And now you can just do that for as long as you want. And I only had 32 pumpkins to start with, so you could put in like 64, and that's what he recommends. Start with 64, and it sort of does the matches with your inventory and everything, and you can get 64 wither roses every time. I only had 32, but this is like kind of ridiculously simple, right? You guys got to go in there and get killed, man. Come on. Your flower's waiting to happen. Go. Be happy. That's about the right happy face for having knowing that your fate is to be turned into a black flower. If you leave the end, or if you stay in the end and you don't have entities down there for the wither to kill, then the wither will end up wounding itself. It actually heals from its wounding itself by throwing the bomb blast into the bedrock that it's surrounded by, but it's healing itself by killing the snowmen. So you can see the wither's health go down once there's no entities in there. So if you were to stay in the end with nothing in there for the wither to kill, then the wither would eventually kill itself. But if you log out, it won't do that. I actually have way too many snow blocks. Jeez. This is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. There, you can see the wither health there has gone down quite a bit, and so now it'll heal back up because it has more entities to kill. So the idea is to not let the wither kill itself until you're, so that at least you keep it up. You want to make more wither roses, and then you want to execute it with the sword or a weapon or something, so that you can actually collect the ender. What is it called? The wither star. I think that's what it's called. I'm going to actually see that the wither can kill itself pretty quickly, actually. So I've got plenty of wither roses, so I'm going to actually leave a bunch of these snowmen in here. I'm going to jump through the portal really quick here after I put the last guys in there. And we'll get out of here. There we go. Cool. So that was pretty wild. Pretty wild. Pretty cool. Very simple farm to set up. And we got, I just hung in there that didn't take very long at all. It took, 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes to do the whole thing. And we've got 3 stacks of wither roses. So I can save those here. But also it's a black dye farm. Super cool, because killing squid takes a long time. So, all right, so we'll be ready to build this right over here. And I think today, in starting this build here, I'm actually going to, today we'll do the thing where I'll leave this, I'm not going to do this in a time lapse because I'm going to tell my little story. And, you'll see the light, the schematica, the Lightmatica hallucinogenic schematic thing, and it'll be visible as we build. But it goes layer by layer, so it doesn't really occlude the image too much. But yeah, it's going to go right up here. I already have it placed. And yeah, all right. Well, let's get into it. All right, this is a little weird. Let's see. So, okay, so this story may only appeal to parents. But anyway, it's to me a cute story, and anyway, one I want to, like I said, sort of archive for, I might be explaining some more of this stuff in the future, but let's see. So I have 2 daughters. They are 10 years and 10 days apart in age, and same mother. That question gets asked a lot sometimes. Anyway, my oldest daughter's name is Katerina. My youngest daughter's name is Louisa. So I took both girls independently to Disneyland by myself, just me and one daughter, both when they were at the age of 5. Now, this is sort of a little bit of a confessional too, I suppose, but I feel kind of really bad about my about the experience with Katerina when I took her. So what happened is when I took Katerina, she was 5. So we get into Disneyland. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Disneyland or have been there, or Disney World. I think it's very similar, or whatever. But anyway, we went to the we started out in the sort of the Fantasyland area, right, where you have all the kid rides, right, which still have some of my favorite rides in there. My absolute favorite ride, which I've talked about before, I think, is the Peter Pan ride. So anyway, we went to we get into the park, we go to the Fantasyland area, and we started out, I think we went on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride and Alice in Wonderland or whatever. Actually, with Katerina, I don't think we made it that far. So I think we got on 1 or 2 rides. And then I made what I understand now is a well-known mistake as a parent. So I took Katerina onto the Snow White ride, and yeah, I found out later that it's a known thing that Snow White, there's a particular name for these kinds of rides where you're just sitting in a little cart that's sort of motorized going through, different scenes, with the little animatronics and whatever. I forget the name for those kinds of rides, but anyway, Snow White apparently is famous for being too scary for young kids, and this proved to be the case with Katerina. The ending of that ride it just horrified her, and when we got out of that ride, I felt so bad. We tried to go on other rides, but from that moment on for the rest of the day, she refused to go on any ride in which the line formed inside of a building, like if there was a covering, because all those rides have sort of thematic, lines you go through, and you kind of go through the beginning part, and it's sort of the staging area. And Snow White ruined Katerina for the day, and she just couldn't. If a ride had a covered opening, it was like, no way, man, I can't get on that ride. No way, I'm afraid. And it was kind of a bummer. I felt really bad after the fact. So I knew that. So, okay, that's what happened when I took Katerina when she was 5. So 10 years later, I take Louisa to Disneyland, just me and her. And, I was aware of the Snow White ride, so we avoided that. So we went on, Peter Pan, Toad, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, which is also a great ride. But we did some of that. So I was very conscious this time around of, not wanting to scare her too much. And Katerina and Louisa, as parents know, or anybody knows, really, kids are individuals. They all have different personalities and whatnot. And Katerina is was a very sort of extroverted, outgoing, and rough and tumble, sort of kid. And Louisa was very different. She was kind of quiet and could sit and read a book or whatever, when she was really little, things like that. So they were different. So I thought for sure Louisa was a little more, I needed to sort of be pretty careful about certain things, fear-wise, right? Talking about fear at Disneyland. But anyway, so I was like, okay, so we did around the park. We did sort of the small rides. And I was like, my favorite rides, of course, as many people's favorite rides are, the classics, right? Number one, probably of which is the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. And so we walk over to that area, and I was like, I was kind of second guessing this, and I was talking to her, and I was like, hey, do you want to go on the pirate ride? It's dark in there, and there's some skeletons, but it's kind of it's kind of really cool. It's not, super scary, but I was trying to gauge her reaction. She was like, okay, well, let's try it. We'll try it. And I was like, okay, let's go in the line. And of course, Pirates of the Caribbean is super cool ride. But I was still pretty nervous, right? So we get on the boat and we do that ride, and she had a really good time. She actually really liked it. And so we come out of that ride, and if anyone knows the layout of Disneyland, of course, the Pirates of the Caribbean ride is sort of right around the corner, from my other favorite ride, which is the Haunted Mansion. Now, I kind of pointed that out to her, the ride there. I said, hey, there's the Haunted Mansion. That's, it's like a haunted house. But it's like, I kind of feel like it's sort of, the beginning of it is like scarier than the actual ride part, because there's a lot of sort of silly stuff, right, in the ride. And I thought, yeah, this is not going to go well. And I told her, hey, we could try the Haunted Mansion if you want to try it. I said, there is an exit, like after the first part, like that whole elevator section or whatever, and you kind of walk through and right before you get onto the moving carts. I knew there was an exit there. And I was like, okay, I told her, I said, we can go through the first part, and, if you get freaked out and you want to go, we don't have to get on the full ride. We can leave early, right? And she was like, okay, let's try it. So we went through the line and got into the elevator ride, the elevator portion, right? The whole stretching room, right? The whole, there are no windows and no doors, that sort of thing. Right. And, so we get in that elevator room and I said, here, let me hold you this. So she jumped up and I was in my arms and I was holding her and I said, hey, just let's see how this goes. Don't worry. I got you. And we'll see. It's going to get dark. I told her the lights are going to go out. It's going to get dark, but don't be afraid. I've got you right here. And so we went through that whole thing and the lightning flashed, right? And you see the dead body hanging up at the roof, which she didn't look up there, but she was gripping me kind of tight, but she wasn't freaking out yet. So we got to the elevator, we walked through that hallway, which has those weird contorting pictures. And those were a little freaky. I think her hand was kind of grabbing my hand a little bit tighter there. And, we got up to the carts and she was like, okay, we can do the ride. Let's go. So we get on the ride. I was like, sure. She's like, yeah. Okay. Let's try it. So we get on the carts and we ride through the Haunted Mansion, and on the way out, you go up the little escalator and there's, the floating vision of the lady in white, and she's doing that little sing-songy voice, come back, that sort of thing. Right. So we go up the escalator and she was like, let's go on again. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, can we go on it again? I was like, you want to go on the Haunted Mansion again? Yeah, let's do it again. So we rode that ride 3 times in a row, and I was just sort of floored. I was just like, wow, you really like this ride. She was like, oh, it's great. 3 times. We went that one after the other, just up the escalator, around to the line, get back in line, and do the ride one more time. 3 times in a row. And I was like, this is pretty fun. Anyway, so we're done with that ride. So we're walking out and we're heading back towards the back of the park. And I see off the corner, I was like, oh, I saw Thunder Mountain Railroad, which that roller coaster is, sort of one of the more tamer roller coasters, I suppose. I mean, it's Disneyland. Disneyland doesn't have a bunch of big roller coasters like Magic Mountain or Six Flags or something like that, right? And so Thunder Mountain Railroad is also has been removed from Disneyland. They tore it down to put in the Star Wars land. So that's kind of sad there, a little nostalgia. But anyway, I saw the train going around and I looked down and I was like, hey, do you want to ride what do you think about roller coasters? Have you ever wanted to ride a roller coaster? And she was like, oh, a roller coaster. And I was like, and now this one, I was like, for sure, like, pretty trepidatious about this. And so the first thing I was like, okay, I don't want to get your hopes up because there are height limits, right? And I explained height limits to her and I said, hey, let's go measure, we went over to the little like vista point where you can watch the crazy train kind of go through its track and you kind of see the ride a little bit. And she really kind of liked that. She looked at it. She was like, yeah, this looks fun. Let's try a roller coaster. And I was like, okay, let's first, let's go measure you at the front of the line, right? At the little height thing. I said, if you're too short, they're not going to let you on the ride and we'll have to wait till next year, or something like that. So I said, let's go. So we walked over to the little height measurement and she stood underneath it. And she has, Louise has she had at that time really long, super curly hair, right? And, her curly hair just touched the height limit. And I was looking at her going, I said, I don't know. I said, if I were an employee here, I would definitely, label you as too short for this ride. I said, so I tried to explain to her, to prep her for disappointment as much as possible. I was like, hey, we can go get in this line. I said, you're almost tall enough. But I said, they're going to measure your height at the end of the line before we get on the cart, and they may not let us ride the ride. So you got to be okay with that if we're going to go stand in line. And she was like, okay. All right, let's try it. I was like, all right. And all through the line, I kept warning her. I was like, hey, remember, they may not let us on this ride. But she was getting kind of excited. She was like, all right, cool, roller coaster. All right. So we go through the line. We get up there to the front, and they didn't even measure her. We just jumped on the ride. And so when you sit in they're little tiny square carts, right, on the Thunder Mountain Railroad, and there's no shoulder straps or anything. It's just a lap bar because there's no loop-to-loops or anything like that. But it's just this thin little lap bar. And of course, I sit in there. I sit on the side. I was like, where's the crushing side, right? Because when it does those sort of sidewinder, turns, those fast, circular spins on the, not spins, but you know what I'm saying, where the roller coaster dives down a track and kind of banks onto its side and does sort of a sidewinder, like a spiral. There's one side, everybody gets, all the weight gets thrown to one side of the cart. And I was like, hey, which side of this, cart is I need to be on the side that soaks up all the weight, right? So I sat on the right and she sat on the left. Now, when I pull the lap bar down, of course, the lap bar hits my lap, but she's 5 and tiny. And she's sitting next to me and she's just like, she's got like, I don't know, 12 inches of like air gap that's just around her. I was like, oh my God, you can like slide under this lap bar. This is crazy. This is not going to work. This is crazy. I'm not going to have to hold on to you. Anyway, so we start going and I'm like, okay, now this is either going to go really well or really terrible. Like the actual roller coaster ride. Like she's never been on a roller coaster. It's super fast, for her, it's a roller coaster. It's fast. So we start going up that clickety click, the big incline, the tick, 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 right. You're riding up there. And I was telling her, I was like, okay, it's going to get fast. It's going to get fast to the top. You just hold on to me if you want. Okay. And we go to the top, in Thunder Mountain, when you go up that, it was like the big incline where you kind of clank up, it's like inside of a mountain and there's like dynamite going off and the walls are shaking and rocks are coming down, this whole visual thing that's going on. And she was looking a little nervous, but still having fun. We're getting up there and I was like, okay, it's going to drop. When we get to the top of this, it's going to drop and we're going to go fast. She's like, all right, we're going to go fast. And I was like, yeah, we're going to go fast. So we go up to we get up to the top, and we creep over the top of the apex, right? And then we drop and it just zooms down. And I look over at her and she has the hugest grin I have ever seen. She is just laughing. Hysterical. She's laughing and she's like sliding out. She's sliding under the bar. She's like got her arms sort of crossed over the bar. And I'm like got one hand on the back of her jacket because she's just sliding out of the car and laughing hysterically. It was one of the most fun things I've ever experienced in life, be it as a parent or not as a parent. It was just one of the coolest, most fun things. She had so much fun. It was crazy. It was crazy. So we get to the end of that ride and she was just like, that was awesome. Where are there more roller coasters? And I was like, there are more roller coasters, but I'm 99% sure you're not going to be tall enough for them. I told her about Space Mountain. And we went over there to check Space Mountain, and of course, Space Mountain was definitely 3 or 4 inches. She had to be 3 or 4 inches taller, I think, to ride that. She was very disappointed, and I think we even tried. Maybe we rode the Matterhorn. I don't remember the rest of the day. I mean, kind of all I remember ultimately from that day was this particular story that I wanted to tell, this particular set of events. But she just had such a good time. She was just laughing like a maniac. And I thought, when we got off that ride, I was like, oh my gosh, like what is this? You're going to grow up and date guys who drive motorcycles. Like, this is nuts. I've made a horrible mistake as a parent. This is insane. So, yeah. Anyway, that's there's my Disneyland story. There's my story for the day. A little story about Louisa and Dad at Disneyland. Okay, so yeah, I cut back in here. I finished the build, but I was trying to decorate the outside, and it takes me a long time to do that, so I don't record that because it takes me a long, long time when I don't have a plan. But I definitely wanted to show you guys this that just happened. I thought I got attacked by these guys. So I name tagged this one. Can't even see him in there, or her. It's can't see the name tag. She does have a name tag, Francis. Now, that's one. It's going to be down here kind of noisy and annoying and make the cats hiss and everything, of course. But also, it's night, so... also looks great out here at night with the shaders on. Look at that. Look at that windmill. I know, windmills are pretty common. I've never built one. And, anyway, we'll talk about this in a second. Because, yeah, it's super cool. Pathway's starting to look really nice and everything. And we're going to get a bunch of... crops growing up here and stuff and whatever. Anyway, but we got to take care of this real quick while it is nighttime because we have another friend. Oh boy. And I want to, I think we're going to go put this guy who's not name tagged because I caught it in the boat, and he's, oh, I guess he can't attack me in the boat. That's great. Oh, they can. How come some things can attack you in the boat and some can't? Remember the pillager dude would not attack me in the boat, but mobs can attack me in the boat? I don't know. Anyway, I'm just going to move him over here for some future project at some point. And I got to remember, this one's not name tagged. So anyway, there you go. Two little creepy doors under a hill. I wonder what's in there. Yeah, so cool. We could talk about this just for a second. Full disclosure, this design, not the building. The building I designed pretty much on my own. I mean, yeah, I've seen other windmill builds, of course, so it does bear some resemblance, I'm sure. But the actual wind blades, or whatever you call this part of the windmill, the sails, the specific white wool with the oak trapdoors, I specifically copied that from someone on Instagram. I really liked it. Out of all the wind blades I'd seen, I like this one the best. And I'm going to forget it might even be Pearlescent Moon. And yeah, so I got the little pathway started. We have a little farm here, so I kind of like tidied this up a little bit. I don't know what I'm going to do here with this wall yet. In here, we'll probably put some barrels and things. Whatever, we'll do some more decorating. All that's part of the pathway and stuff. And then we just kind of cruise up here, and we've got the little fencing, the little wall, garden wall motif carries through here. Got a little lamp. I was specifically using orange and red flowers around this build. I don't really, I don't know. They just seem to be a little palette choice. There you go. Oh, no variations on those. Anyway, cool. So yeah, we cruise up in here. It's a nice large size. We'll fly around in a second, check it out. So I don't have any interior decoration done right now. This is way too many lights in here, but they show up through the windows. Well, that one doesn't, but it gives sort of a symmetry to the interior. And we come up here, we have another floor. These are stair blocks that are holding water for the outside. There's wheat growing on either side, and we'll check that out too on the side. This is a little tower you can come out, take a gander around Axe Harbor here and stuff. Yeah, kind of cool. And then up here we have our growing floors. So we have our minecart collecting pumpkins, which are growing nicely. It's not many. There's only 8 pumpkin plants up here. I got to come up with something else for this particular little row of dirt blocks here. Is actually just to stop a little bit of the quote unquote spillage. You know, the pumpkins that could fly off the edge. And I don't think there's is there not a piston above that one? Oh. It seems I'm lacking a piston here, so I should put a piston right there. I would do that. Jeez. Well, I'll do that later. I don't have the redstone box on me. And we come up here, and then the top floor that's like way up there is not. That's where the melons are growing. It's the exact same setup as this down here. So right above these are the tracks and everything, and plenty of melons growing. So yeah, we will install a villager. This will be the farmer's place, and I don't know if I'll put the farmer up here on the second floor, maybe, or have him hang out on the ground floor. Probably, I don't know which one. I do like this little pathway down through here. I think that worked out okay. Comes down here, it becomes the path, the rocky path. And we've got the garden path that kind of cruises through everything else. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So you can see up there is where the wheat is growing up there. Oh man, look at right in the middle of the garden. Oh, you guys. I was wondering if I built if I like name tagged a bunch of these guys and like kept them here in this area, would that like stop pillager patrols from coming in, or would additional patrols come in? I have an idea for what I want to do. Actually, oh, geez, they're everywhere. Oh, man. We could just fly away and make them despawn, I think. But I do have a plan. I do want to trap an entire patrol and name tag them, and I have this very specific idea of what I would like to do with them. Look at them hanging out in the garden by the candles and stuff, all camouflaged and whatever. I wanted to walk around and get a look of the at the build. I tried to go for this sort of Tudor style, you know, with the wood, you know, sort of cross beams or the wood hatch you see on Tudor style builds. I really like the yellow terracotta and the dark oak, even though I try to stay away from dark oak because we live in a dark oak forest. But, you know, sometimes things just look good and you got to just go with them. So, yeah, that's it. I got some rockets here. Let's fly over here to a perch, maybe on top of the axe here. Sure. Let's hurt ourselves all right. Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. I think so. Kind of can see some things up in there. That's where the pistons are, that level right there. Got a little sandstone and stripped birch log roof. I dig that. I think it looks pretty cool. So there's more of the red flowers. I went with red and orange all the way around. There's our little balcony. And yeah, it's a little awkward looking, I guess. It's kind of just like a tall townhousey building with a windmill stuck on it. But, you know, there you go. It's, I don't know what I'm doing. It's very unrealistic, but I like it. It adds a lot to the area, I feel. And I think all this slope will probably all get covered in wheat. You know, wheat is like the typical, you know, with the windmill, you know, the windmill's over a field of something, field of whatever. So probably wheat or some other crops all growing up and down the slopes up here. And yeah, and then I'm not sure. I haven't figured out what to do with these walls yet. It feels like maybe they need to be stone, like there's stone like right underneath all the grass. And I'm not really sure what to do with this. So anyway, that'll take more messing around. It's pretty large. It's a pretty large build. It's just tall. It's not like super duper large, but oh yeah, this side doesn't have. So this is the side where you don't see the blades. So you kind of can see the wall design on this side without without the blades obscuring it. Big window in the back. All right, guys. Well, there we go. It looks great in the shaders. I think it looks a little flat without shaders on, because of the oak and everything, the dark oak and everything else. I think we can take a look at it without the shaders and see. Yeah, it's just a little duller looking. The yellow is a little duller, and I don't know, but it's still okay, I guess. But I do. Oh, dang it, rain! It was looking so good. All right, guys, that's it. That'll do it for today. Take care. Have a good one. And I'll see ya when I see ya. See ya.